I don't care what he thinks.
He does.
Check in
on the Bears.
Look for a backup.
Who are oozing confidence. Here's Caleb Williams on expectations this year.
It's pretty awesome. You know, there's obviously, I feel that there's a light at the end of that tunnel. Right now, we're working with our head down, and we're building. And so, just having that moment with myself, I do it every day. As I sit there and say, we're gonna be pretty damn good.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the question? Hype around the Bears, too high, too low, or just right?
Well, it's not high enough.
Okay.
Not high enough.
Well, I don't know. Caleb isn't even the first or second most hyped rookie we've had in the last 12 months. Wimby and Caitlin, far more hype. Far more hype than Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be.
Deservedly.
I don't know that.
I totally deserve it.
I don't know. Listen,
Certainly,
It's a
Wimby.
great take.
We'll see.
Caitlin has most
And
points in
Caitlin,
women's basketball history.
yeah.
I think that.
Okay, all right,
I
that's
think
fine.
that's a fair.
This guy-
All right,
comparison.
I'm going to, again, I know Wimby is on Brew's GOAT watch, and Brew is also Xing out 9 years of finals
I'm just
appearances for the Western Conference to give him to Wimby. I'm not ready to go that far. I think he is on par with those players as far as ability to come into the sport and immediately be like, that was the right pick. There's no question about it. He doesn't have that level of hype. Do you think it is on the board with DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen as his receivers, that Caleb puts up these numbers? Let me show you. This is a quarterback last year, their numbers. 30 touchdowns, 12 picks, 98 rating.
No.
That's CJ.
No, it's not.
It's not CJ?
4,500 passing yards. You don't think that's possible?
I mean, it's possible. I do not think that. I
don't
don't think
think
he's
so.
going to throw for
Okay.
4,500
So
yards.
the yard seems high, the touchdown seems doable. Because that quarterback last year was a blown lead away with equivalent talent, questions on defense, good offense, from being in the Super Bowl.
You
A
think
little
that
bit more
he is-
experience.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit more.
Yeah, I understand a little more experience. I get that. That's why I'm comparing him to Jared Goff and not comparing him to the best quarterbacks in the league. It's because it's the experience gap. Again, guys, just to be clear, CJ was worth 7 more wins. Trevor, who we killed, their team win total.
No, you know why he's doing that? Let me reveal the curtains real back. He's doing it because right now he's trying to pander to Chicago Bears fans, and by saying, hey, Caleb is going to be better than your rival of Jared Goff, there you go. Get excited. That's why he's doing that.
Went up 2. Mac, the team win total went up 3.
Trevor? What his go up?
Up 2.
Oh,
The
2.
CJ went up 7. Well, they won 7 games last year. Mack, it went up 3. Burrow played half the season, it went up 2. Herbert, it went up 2. Baker, it went up 7. Kyler, it went up 2 in a tie. He's going to be worth 3 or 4 wins. They're going to win 11 games. They're going to be in the playoffs.
But it's easier to go from 1 to
Right, that's the
3
thing.
I don't know that I agree with
than
it.
7 to
definitely
10.
Or the argument is you won 7 games. The same argument Brew makes for the Jets all the time. You won 7 games with awful quarterback play. Now,
No,
if
it
you
wasn't
just
nearly
have,
as bad as the Jets.
Now, if you just have league average quarterback play, what are you going to do?
Look, it's too high. Because you got them. Do you have them going to the Super Bowl?
We're not making our picks yet.
You're
Flirting-
close.
flirting
You're
with it.
flirting.
Yeah.
Rich Eisen's flirting. Too many people are flirting with them going to the Super
It's
Bowl.
really just me
when
and
no
Rich.
rookie
Rich riding
quarterback
my wave
has
again.
ever made the Super Bowl.
That seems
All
right.
right? So, none.
Your guy,
in
you
the
think
history.
Brock Purdy could have done it a year ago?
He didn't do it, though.
Because he got his elbow
didn't
broken.
Do it, but he didn't do it. And here's the thing. Look, I do like Caleb. I just think it's going to be there's going to be some ups and downs in his rookie season that you don't seem to think are going
But
to be
that's
there.
me. I guess my question is, when you say the hype, I'm the only one saying that. The expectation is they win around 9 games. The expectation is they come close but miss the playoffs. That means the hype's too low.
No, people know this because everybody's raving. Oh, they went 5-3 down the stretch. Yeah, they beat 4-win Arizona. They beat 2-win Carolina by 3 points. They beat Minnesota and Atlanta, who are both losing teams. I mean,
Who do you think they're
let's
going to have
not
to beat this year to get to 11
Let's not. Well, I know they got to beat Detroit and Green Bay to win that division.
Okay, so this is actually a more interesting conversation about is the hype too high, too low, or just right. Now, when Nick was saying, I was about to say the hype is not high enough, that there's plenty of hype. And I realized that that's actually not true. But that's actually not accurate because I just did a video the other day where it was on NFL Live. And who was it? Louis Riddick, I forget exactly who it was, and he said, "Oh, they're going to be a good team, but they're not going to make the playoffs." And I was like, "Are you crazy? Like, of course they're going to make the playoffs." And I went through all the teams, and I think that they're clearly in the top 7. I don't think that they're going to win the division. I think they'll win. I think they'll get in through the wild card, but I think that they will get into the playoffs. So I think it's saying that they're not going to get into the playoffs. If most people are saying that the Bears won't even make it to the playoffs, well then yes, I think it is too low, the hype, for sure. And I realized, because I guess I was expecting a lot of people, because I think the hype around Caleb Williams himself is mega high. Mega high. I don't understand, like, this idea that he's not. And we've been talking about Caleb for well over a year. Well over a year. Before last season for college even started, it was seen as he is the bona fide number 1, the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. Caleb Williams, Caleb Williams, Caleb Williams. So that hype has already been through the roof. So I don't know why you can say otherwise. The reason why maybe Wembanyama or Caitlin Clark feels like the hype is bigger, because one, we've never seen a woman do what a woman athlete, woman basketball player do what Caitlin Clark was doing, and Wembanyama is a physical freak going into the NBA, where we know basketball is such a mega star-driven league, and in a time when they're looking for the new face, they're looking at Wembanyama. That's why. Caleb Williams. Patrick Mahomes is in his prime right now, right? Like, there is no face of the league in the NBA that's in their prime. There just is no true face of the WNBA. The average person has no idea name a single person in the WNBA. They can't. My mom can't. My dad can't. They certainly know who Caitlin Clark is. So that's the difference. So football has always been bigger than individual players. So that's where the hype is just right, because you can only do so much. We're in a league where you have CJ Stroud, you have Jordan Love, you have Josh Allen, you have obviously Patrick Mahomes. You even still have Tom Brady being all over the world right now, right? All over the media. So it's just Caleb Williams has to play first. He has to establish himself, just like Patrick Mahomes needed to do, just like Tom Brady needed to do, just like CJ Stroud, Jordan Love, all these guys, Jalen Hurts, whoever, Dak Prescott. So that all makes sense. But with Caleb Williams, in terms of the hype around what they can do next season, it is probably actually too low. And I'm actually surprised to say that out loud. Because I guess because I've been hyping them, and I know Nick has been hyping them, and I think even Colin Cowherd has been hyping them, which are like a lot of the main shows that I watch, in terms of sports-related shows, of course, that it felt like, okay, well, everyone's hyping them. But the more clips I do, the more media that I consume, I realize that's not necessarily the case. Not to mention, obviously, doing this channel, I'm interacting with a massive amount of Chicago Bears fans, and they are mega hyped on Caleb Williams, and they're mega hyped on the Bears. The huge portion of them believe that they will indeed make the playoffs and even win a playoff game. They're not even okay, like, just getting to the playoffs. In fact, they will see the season as a failure if they don't at least get to the playoffs. So I think that hype is definitely there. Now, should it be there is a different question. Because I think theoretically, you can expect something and you can predict something, which is obviously what we're doing in this case, but the expectation shouldn't have to be that way. If let's say Nick confirms that he says, I believe that the Chicago Bears will make it to the Super Bowl. Now, under Nick's letter of the law of how he does it, if they don't make it to the Super Bowl, then they failed expectations. But I don't see it that way. I think we can believe that they are good enough, and Caleb Williams should be good enough to get the Chicago Bears to the playoffs and make some noise in the playoffs, have a competitive game in the playoffs. But if they don't, or let's say they make it to the playoffs and lose the first game, let's say they even get blown out, that shouldn't be seen as a failure, shouldn't be seen as not reaching expectations. It should just be like, it's just what happened, which is different. I know it feels counterintuitive, but you do, like, CJ Stroud had a wildly successful season. He was a throw away from Gardner Minshew from not going to the playoffs. And is that throw now the difference between CJ Stroud having a successful season versus not? No, I don't believe that. What if Jordan Love played really, really great against the Dallas Cowboys, but the Cowboys ended up winning. Let's say the score was 24-21. And Jordan Love played pretty good. He was composed. He played a really good game. You know, threw for 2 touchdowns, 280 yards, 64% completion percentage, but they lost. He didn't dominate the Dallas Cowboys. Does that mean that Jordan Love's season was a failure? So with Jalen Hurts didn't win the Super Bowl, was his season a failure? So that's why, in terms of like, is the hype too high, too low, just right? It depends. I think the hype should be super high, but the expectations shouldn't be. We should be excited about what the Bears can do. We should be excited what Caleb Williams can do. We should be excited about the potential, because I think the potential is there, but it doesn't mean it's a guarantee. And maybe a better example of this would be like going to Vegas, right? And gambling. You're going to be in the World Series of Poker, and you're a pretty darn good poker player. The hype is there. I can win. I am actually good enough to win in the World Series of Poker. But I also know it's really, really brutally difficult to win in the World Series of Poker. And if I lose, even if I lose in the first round, that in no way means that I'm not good enough. That in no way means that there was too much hype. It's just the way how it unfolded. It's just the way how the season unfolded. So I think the hype is either just right or potentially not high enough, depending on where we're talking about, because the fans are hyped. The majority of media that I consume is hyped. But there is definitely a chunk of the media over there, I guess maybe more ESPN side of things. They seem to be saying, like when Riddick said, I think it was whoever it was on NFL Live, saying that the Bears are going to be good but not make the playoffs. And that actually really surprised me, because I was just like, well, who do you think's making the playoffs above them? Not Tampa Bay. It's not going to be the Saints. It's not going to be the Giants. It's probably not going to be the Commanders, because they still have a lot of growing pains that they need to go through. Like who's coming up in the wild card? There's teams to kind of go around. Even if we already put the Lions, the Packers, the Eagles, the 49ers, the Rams. I'm probably missing a team. Like I don't think Seattle is going to be better than I don't think Seattle's going to be better than the Bears. I don't think the Panthers are going to be better than the Bears. Tampa Bay better than the Bears. Like, so it's just like there's only so many teams to go around. So I think that the Bears will absolutely make the playoffs. I think Caleb Williams will have a lot of highs. I think his lows will ultimately happen as well. But I think for the most part, they should be minimized and won't be something that should completely spiral, because I think the team is good enough around him to endure any of those things. And let's face it, they're kind of used to dealing with just these wild ups and downs with Justin Fields. And again, Caleb Williams is going to be infinitely better than Justin Fields. When they say that Caleb Williams comes into the NFL and that you're going to be like, oh yeah, he's totally deserving, I think you're going to have that experience, and you're also going to have the immediate experience of, oh yeah, this is what an actual quarterback looks like. I don't know what the heck Justin Fields was doing. This is a quarterback. This is someone who's in command of their craft. This is someone who can command an offense. This is someone who truly belongs to be the number 1 overall pick and starter in the NFL. I think that's what you get out of Caleb Williams. And anything else will just be gravy. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think the hype around the Bears is too high, too low, or just right? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.